What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Fair Income Podcast. Today, I sat down with the boys. We spoke about Andrew Tate, Queen Lizzie, and we got asked a lot of questions such as, is getting your scuba diver license worth it? And what would you do if your wife earned more money than you? Stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy this episode.
You know, I grew up in Morocco, yeah? When I went to school there, obviously you get belted there. Bamboo stick, they come out, teacher says anything, you know, like we're reading out. There's a book called Iqra. So it was just like a normal English textbook, except like the Arabic version, right? And the teacher would sort of make every sort of table say a line from it, right? And we're going table to table, and there'd be like one side of the room where like someone will turn around to the other person and have a, like just say a line or say something, right? Or say something funny. And teacher will come and just whack everyone like that was there, like within the vicinity. And that's what it felt like when I heard the whole...
Yeah, the whole
like,
Uber thing.
Yeah, like, bro, even Uber, man. Nah, so yeah, got to. It's part of my.
But the people that follow Kuluru know you're already. People that go to Kuluru know you're there anyway.
I guess people that come in, they see me. You know, I can't hide that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you wear a face mask.
Yeah, man. That's.
Do you look?
That's
Do
out
people
of our
recognize you with a mask?
So you're scared of COVID.
Yeah, of course, man. Like, this hairline, these eyebrows, can't miss it, man. Why is everyone putting their head down, man?
Bro, is it getting draining?
Violating myself.
No, is it getting draining now? Somebody walking in there going, "You can't change my mind." Come on,
Nah.
Surely you get it.
It's all right. Yeah, I guess like it depends on the time of the day as well. Yeah.
And the mood you're in.
Yeah, in the mood I'm in. 9 times out of 10, you know, you're gonna catch me in a good mood, having a laugh, and it's like it gives validation to what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
You know, if I've said it enough times for it to be living in people's head,
Yeah.
and someone comes up to me, usually they mean it in a good way. Yeah, they're trying to sort of, you know, familiarize themselves and say like, oh, you know, I've seen your work type thing. So I take it as a compliment.
There's two things I want to know. How often do people, like, to your face, disagree with what you say? Like, say, hey, I saw this video, and you know?
Oh, there's some topics, like we always speak about coffee.
Okay.
So that's like one of those topics, like coffee, chocolate. People come in like just respectfully be like, oh, no, you know, I think this.
I like a mint chocolate.
Yo, bro, I had someone come up to me and they're like, oh, you know, I like cherry ripe. What are you going to do about it? I'm like, nothing. I'm like, you like the chocolate, good on you, man. And he's like, no, I'm just joking. I enjoy it. And I think some people also like try and sort of test the waters as well.
Yeah, by
just like coming up and disagreeing, thinking like I'll be genuinely upset or like cut up about it. Bro, I don't care, man.
it's like a 1 minute clip on internet.
And you're talking about chocolate and coffee. It's not like, you know.
Yeah, I think what people tend to fail to realize is with my videos, I'm trying to disrupt, not disrespect. Yeah, and I think that's what most content creators should focus on is disrupting and not disrespecting. Is, you know, when I'm talking about something, I just want to, you know, have that sort of like fun, engaging conversation with whoever's that like that video is going to reach.
True.
I'm not there to disrespect their beliefs or anything like that.
And possibly obviously spark like another conversation on the internet type of thing as well between other people, because I know people that go and share your videos into their group chats and they have like complete disagreements with each other. You know what I mean? And it's a healthy conversation to have type of thing, you know?
Yeah, of course, especially if it's, you know, like something about coffee or something that brings people together. Usually whenever I make a video, the thought behind it is, you know, how am I going to bring people together? Whether they agree or disagree. Yeah, relatability.
Yeah, true.
I don't have socials. What did he say about coffee?
Say again?
What did he say about coffee?
Oh,
if you drink this kind of coffee,
yeah,
the type of person you are.
What's your order? And he'll tell you what you are.
What do you think my order is?
No, I'm asking you, man.
Oh, you're not doing this predicting thing?
No, man, it's not star signs.
Actually,
I'm not here to read your coffee cup, man. I just want to know what you order. So you wake up in the morning, you go to a cafe, what do you order?
Let me actually guess it. I want to see.
No, you can't guess the face value, but...
Piccolo.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's decent. That's all right. That's decent. Why do you have it with milk?
Huh?
Why do you have it with milk? Why don't you just have it black? Since you're having it like in a
He
shot
hates
anyway.
black.
Just that little extra, you know, like that relaxation of it. You know, like when you have something that's a bit too bitter and it's too mid.
So, you know, I said it in my video and I didn't realize like how much like wisdom there is behind it. If it's good coffee, it won't need sugar.
Yeah.
Or milk.
Yeah.
So maybe you're just going to the wrong cafe.
True. I actually learned that from one of my Italian managers at work. Like he's like really hard-headed about
Italians.
coffee. And this was he takes his coffee like very, very seriously.
Passionate.
You know? He's very passionate about it. And this was before I started drinking like coffee properly. So it was like, because obviously in my old joint that I was working at, I was there like just as I finished high school as well. So I wasn't drinking coffee like that back then. Anyway, one day he's sitting me down for like an appraisal. Obviously we went to the cafe and he ordered a black, like a short black. And I was a bit confused about it because obviously I had the perception like who goes out of their mind willingly to go drink like a black coffee. No flavor, no nothing. You know, it's going to leave
enjoyment.
Say again?
It's not out of enjoyment. Surely not.
It can't be out of enjoyment type of thing. Anyway, then at that time I was getting into coffee type of thing, you know? And then after he said the same thing to me about how the better the coffee, the quality of coffee, you can compare it by the amount of sugar that's added to it. So the more sugar you need to add to it, the worse the coffee is basically. And after that, I've kept that like same mentality where you can compare it because you go to a certain cafe and just to like get rid of that flavor, top it up with sugar type of thing, you know? But what's your go-to coffee order, by the way?
Double espresso. Have a black, short black. But then
Very
again,
simple.
to your point, I drink it for function. I don't drink it, sit there like, oh, I really enjoy this.
Yeah.
Like my wife has like a latte and she'll sip on it. And I'm like, nah.
exactly.
You know, when I have a coffee, I don't sit there to sip on
So
it.
you're telling me you go
That's
to a cafe on the weekend with your missus?
Yep.
Sorry, your wife, sorry. And you drink a double espresso?
Double espresso every day.
You're
Doesn't matter, man.
You're different.
With a bit of sparkling water,
Yeah.
it's really, really good. Like I said, like I'm happy to pay that. This is going to sound crazy, like $4 or $5 for a double shot espresso.
Yeah.
Knowing that I'm not just paying for like the coffee, like, you know, just the, people just see it as a quick coffee. For me, it's just the enjoyment. Because like I said, if it's good coffee, I won't need sugar. And also, you know, being a barista myself as well, I know what it takes, you know, to make a proper coffee, you know, sitting there weighing the beans, you know, once it's gone through the grinder, weighing the beans and putting it through. So, you know, you pay for quality. And
Can you have your black coffee without sparkling water?
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah.
Surely you agree with me. People who drink long blacks are terrorists.
Yo.
Okay, surely agree.
Yeah, sort of. Like, it's not my thing, but
I made him drink a long black once.
is it like an iced long black or just a normal long black?
Normal from 7-Eleven.
Bro, just
imagine-
And I don't drink coffee.
At all?
Yeah, I don't drink
He'd be
coffee.
bouncing
Nah,
off the
fair
walls.
enough.
I'm not a
Because
coffee.
he asked us, he goes to us, I need you all to send me something to suffer, something like that, yeah?
Yeah, I was doing like a
A challenge.
challenge. I was like, I said I did 24 hours of like a dopamine detox.
Yeah.
Which kind of like you do 24 hours of the things. You don't do the things you enjoy doing, like whatever that is. Like dopamine, you enjoy maybe social media, watching movies, eating certain foods. So you kind of suppress yourself from doing stuff you enjoy doing. Then the next day, I did 24 hours of the things I don't want to do. So I purposely went out of my way. I didn't just suppress the things I like doing. I went out of my way for things I don't want to do. So I called them all and I said, "Hey, tell me something to do." This guy goes, "Go drink a long black." And
That's
do,
bad,
and
bro.
do
That's
150 burpees.
And he doesn't drink anything but like hot
Wow.
chocolates and chai
Yeah.
lattes
Yeah.
and stuff, yeah?
Gee.
So he hates coffee.
That's bad.
What was the experience after that 24 hours like?
It's like a
How'd you
dopamine
feel?
fast, yeah?
I did 2,000 push-ups. It took me 3.5 hours straight.
Wow.
Yeah, well, not straight, as in, but
Wait, yeah,
as
of
I said,
course.
I did 6 hours of working out. It was
But push-ups are fun, man.
not
Not for
2,000, not that many.
Too much of a good thing.
Yeah, I didn't eat the whole day because I was working out. I did 6 hours straight. I have
Wow.
all the footage. It was, I don't know, it was a
He
crazy
put the
experience.
video out, bro. Surely you don't just suffer for no reason.
Yeah, no. This guy
Do it
goes,
for
this
content.
guy goes 100,
That's
This guy-
Ashraf saying.
Yeah.
this guy said 150 burpees. He said 100 squats straight. And then,
Burpees are the lowest.
what else did you say?
I said something. I actually don't remember.
Yeah, and then Ali just said suicides 50 in the backyard, which took 50 minutes straight.
That's disgusting.
And
50 suicides?
yeah,
Ali doesn't
three
like it,
cones,
bro.
and then
Nah,
I did,
suicides are
then
not that bad
then
if
I
you
d-
compare it to thingy.
then I did the push-ups, and then
Bro,
I
up, back,
4
up, back,
days
up,
of
back,
salat.
up,
It was
back,
hurting
up
getting
50
up.
times.
Yeah, I
4
can
days.
imagine, man.
That was the
The
worst.
burpees.
Been needing to pull up the chair
Yeah.
for Salah.
that was crazy.
How long did
Alhamdulillah.
it take for you to
Alhamdulillah.
recover that?
4 days. Yeah. Like,
Oh,
as in
4 days.
4 days I couldn't
Wow.
pray after. Like as in each time I did it, I pushed myself up from the floor. It hurt. 4 days.
Wow.
Gazelle.
Yeah.
David Goggins, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, I should post that maybe. We'll see.
You have to
No,
post
it'd be
it, bro.
interesting, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's like those YouTube videos. I did
I was
this
just
for
wrecked
24
after
hours.
that.
Yeah.
I was wrecked. I couldn't do anything. So, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm going to
That's
sleep
good.
Yeah.
in there in my gym for 24 hours.
You remember?
I'll set something up in the musalla for you, man.
You remember when that was a trend on YouTube? The 24-hour challenge.
Like staying overnight.
Yeah, everyone would stay overnight,
Be like
24
in a
hours.
haunted house or that.
Yeah, or the supermarket ones were big ones where they stay at like Walmart.
Oh,
or something
IKEA or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. IKEA would be sick. I think you could easily get lost in that place, bro.
Where IKEA?
Yeah.
But you can get comfortable as well, right?
Yeah.
You know, imagine doing that like a Aldi or something. But then again, we don't have the luxury of 24-hour shops other than Kmart, yeah?
And there's like only one came out that I know that's 24 hours.
And that's Campbellfield.
Campbellfield, yeah.
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 I mean, would they realize?
True.
Yeah.
Not Campbellfield. Have you seen the security guard there? Oh, Lord.
Nah.
Okay, edit that out,
Yes,
please.
yeah.
If that security guard's watching, I love you.
Yeah.
Subscriber, I love you even more.
I wonder, like,
Nah, but like Kmart security, like to be fair, is
It's horrific. It's like that guy.
it's not. Yeah, exactly, man. The one insecurity. Just yep. Next in. Thank you
You know
very
what?
much.
Inshallah, the guy that I used to work security for never watches this, but I used to have the wand. They used to give me the wand duties at the MCG. Oh, sorry, at the Etihad Stadium.
You mean the metal detector?
The metal detector, yeah. So he's telling me, whenever someone comes through, you want them. Whoever it is, make sure you do all of it. I turn the wand off.
Oh my god.
I never buzzed. But it looks like I'm doing it,
That's
bro.
it, man. Out of sight, out of mind,
Put it off,
man. That's it. Doesn't
What am I
matter.
gonna bring? Neck minute off.
You're okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. One thing I wanted to bring up, Teddy, because I was listening to one of your podcasts, and I've seen on your social medias. I want to talk about something that's been pretty hot recently. It's probably dying off a little bit now, but Andrew Tate, big boy Andrew Tate, top G.
Top G.
Top G. I've seen some of your comments, and obviously people out here nowadays, they sit sort of like they're either very against him, or there's very rarely ever people that come out and support him. But you seem to sort of sit on the fence type of thing with him. And obviously on your podcast, I remember, was it Paulie that you...
Paulie, yeah.
Paulie, you were speaking to him. And obviously you posed the question to him as well.
And that was even before the ban.
That was
So a
way
lot
before
has changed since then.
A lot has happened.
Yeah.
The 5-hour video, because we've had heaps of discussions in between that time.
Yeah.
What's come out? The 5-hour video, he's come out with his apology. And then obviously when he got cancelled. And obviously I want to get into the whole cancelling culture and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, what's your thoughts on his ban? Do you support it? Against it?
Oh man, like you said, man, I'm on the fence with it. There's me as a dad, then there's me as a content creator. So like whenever I watch Andrew Tate, and like I remember posting a story that I was watching Andrew Tate, and I remember getting all these messages being like, "Oh, do you support him?" Same thing when I posted ones Jordan Peterson. Yeah. Like a lot of people, like when I post Jordan Peterson or Andrew Tate or anyone that's strong, like got a strong personality like that, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, do you support it? Do you support it?" And I'm like,
and that's conservative.
Nah, yeah, I'm just like, I don't necessarily support it, but then again, I got to take it in.
Yeah.
Right? Because if there's one thing I've learned over the period of lockdowns and everything, you're going to have people that you're not necessarily going to agree with. And just like Ashraf was seeking discomfort, the one thing that I've made sure is I seek the opposite opinion of whatever the mainstream is, right? You know, there's a lot of people for, and I see their point. There's a lot of people against, and I also see their point. So I guess it just really depends. I'm really, really on the fence. When I do watch it, it's genuinely just to know what's going on in this situation. You know, you watch a 5-hour podcast. You don't watch a 5-hour podcast for no reason.
You finish
but
it?
then again, yes, I did finish it.
Same.
4 hours and 52 minutes.
I thought it was 59, but go.
Yeah, no, 4 hours and 52 minutes. And honestly, like after watching that, you sort of get a bit more perspective. I think there's a lot of things out there that are put up without context, right?
True.
Yeah,
And that's what cancel culture is based off of. A lot of it is, it's based off that moment without context. And obviously the context of the person who he actually is, because you only know him, I guess, off of face value or whatever you see on social media type of thing. And then they just completely remove them. But sorry, continue on.
that, but also like people can have a different belief system or different, ideas. You don't necessarily have to agree with them, right? You can listen to them.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have to agree with everything that Ashraf says, anything that you say, or anything that you say. And that's okay. And if there's one thing that I've sort of like been trying to do is like listen to people that, I don't know, like most people wouldn't agree with, but also like as well as on the other side, you get a lot of people talking about like, identifying genders, identifying as this, sexuality and stuff like that, which I know a lot of people that also don't agree with that.
Yeah.
But I also try and hear out everything. So, with this circumstance, it's very strange how after watching that 5-hour podcast, I was more like far out, listening to his perspective and listening to how everything seems so coordinated as well, right? To go even to the length of banning someone off Uber. like when he said that, I was like, bro, how do you get banned from Uber?
Airbnb.
Like an Airbnb, like how do you get banned from like platforms? Like if they banned me off Airbnb, I'd be like, bro, like what the hell did I do?
That's crazy.
No, you know what it's like? I grew up in Morocco, When I went to school there, obviously you get belted there. The bamboo stick, they come out, teacher says anything, like we're reading out. There's a book called Iqra.
Yeah.
So it was just like a normal English textbook, except like the Arabic version, right?
Yeah.
And the teacher would sort of make every sort of table say a line from it, right? And we're going table to table, and there'd be like one side of the room where like someone will turn around to the other person
Yeah.
and have a like just say a line or say something, right? Or say something funny, and teacher will come and just whack everyone like
Yeah.
that was there, like within the vicinity, and that's
Yeah.
what it felt like when I heard the whole
The whole
like,
Uber thing. As
yeah,
well.
like bro, even Uber, man,
So funny, bro.
it's ridiculous, man.
You
So
know, sometimes the way that he acts like so unfazed by whatever comes his way is one of the funniest things about him. Like, for example, when the Uber thing was released, he also said, I think, Uber, PayPal, Airbnb, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Those three. And he goes, I don't even care. I don't even care. Guess what? I just made another account, huh? What are they going to do now?
but he does have a point, because that's what the internet is, right?
True.
And same thing with like getting cancelled on the internet. Like
Yeah.
he can still go on and live his life.
Because he's rich, yeah.
He's not just rich, but like it goes back to the whole tweet by Tyler the Creator.
Yeah.
Like, what's cyberbullying?
Yeah.
Like, bro, just turn off your
Yeah, true.
turn off your
true,
computer.
true, well,
Yeah.
So same thing, you know, with him. Same thing with anyone else, right?
yeah.
Is it fair? Probably not. You know, well, did he say stuff that's out of pocket? Probably. But
Yeah.
then again, that's all still so subjective, man.
True. It depends how you interpret. Like, I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and we're talking about David Goggins.
Yeah.
You know, and they read the book apparently twice. They are not a fan of David Goggins, and
Okay.
I thought that was an insult. Like, I took that as an insult
Yeah.
type of thing, and obviously, like, I wanted to like delve into that conversation. Would you agree with that?
Carry on, then.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
No,
Is
I've got a question, but do carry on.
Yeah. And then after, obviously, I was trying to delve into why they weren't keen on David Goggins and all that kind of stuff. And it all goes back to their interpretation of what he was saying type of thing, you know? Like, they didn't appreciate the way that he constantly repeated, I. Like, he came off very narcissistic to them, you know? Whereas the way that I interpret it was completely different. And it's the same with this whole cancel culture thing and all that, you know? It's all up to interpretation, you know, based off of your experiences and whatnot, you know? Sus, what's funny?
Nah, so you say something before I
No,
dive
just
in.
don't worry about my thoughts, bro. Just carry
No, man. You contributed to the conversation.
No, I don't know who the hell's reading that book.
Yeah, like
And what they picked from it was the fact that he said I a lot. Bro,
Yeah,
it's
I
his
think-
autobiography, basically. Bro.
pretty
Of
much,
Of
man.
course
Like
he's gonna say I.
you know, you look at the book. It's got his face on it. Like what else? What else is he going to speak about? So obviously, he's going to speak about himself. But the first thing that I want to ask is, why did you take it so personal?
True.
Oh, no, because I like really not related entirely to David Goggins' story, but like, I guess the mantra, what he stood by type of thing, you know? And then obviously, and a lot of the people around me have agreed to that sort of as well, you know? So this was my first interaction with someone that was like completely opposite. So, but then I had to remove myself from the situation because of like, it's not about me type of thing, you know what I
Of
mean?
course.
It's,
So-
it's about them type of thing, you know?
So you have that power. Well, you have that ability, right?
Yeah.
Whilst a lot of people don't. So I think like with Andrew Tate, like whenever he says something, a lot of people can, you know, and did say it in the podcast as well, where he's like, you know, when I get an emotional reaction out of someone, I've already won. Because when you're emotional, you say things that you don't even like you see it in relationships, you see it like, why is the divorce rate so high?
Yeah.
It's people just make such an emotional decision, you know, like they get attention from the wrong person, from the right person,
Yeah.
and they take it in the wrong way. And then next thing you know, they've made an emotional decision to cut off everything else in their life.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, same thing with like dieting.
True.
When people make an emotional decision of, oh man, Sue is getting burgers.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't go with him this one time, he's
Yeah.
gonna hate me. So, you know, I'll make that decision and then ruin something like that. They could have had like a bit of momentum in that way. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
And also, like, not even like sometimes you got to objectify the thing. Like, you can't make everything so subjective to you. You know, like, for example, a lot of. No, I went.
I've got a word for you. It's called
I wanted to remove. Yeah.
it's called intersectionalism. If I'm not correct, if I'm not wrong, I was at a conference not too long ago, and shout out to Leathan. She was speaking about something that it's called intersectionalism. It's like a theory where it's like something that's important to me might not be important to you, but you can't really put your views and your perspective on me, because there's things that are important to me that you won't be able to understand, and there's things that are important to you that you won't be able to understand.
Yeah.
And let me just double check that's the word before I get caned.
But you make a very good point. It was like when we went to the NBL game.
Mm.
And I think you asked me something about mental health,
Possibly.
depression or mental health or anxiety, or like
Yeah.
around those lines. and like like when we're walking, right?
Yeah,
or like
on the
walking
way-
from
on
the
the way
basketball
out.
game on the way out,
Yeah.
and
By the way, guys, he came. Obviously, a lot of people asked me about this. Not a lot, like 2 people asked me about this.
Yeah.
But he came through
It's a
with
lot
his
to you.
promise. Yeah, that's a lot to me. I'm making it in the world somewhere. But he came through with his NBL promise because
100%. I'm a man of my words. But
100%.
you did ask me, like you asked me a question about mental health, depression, anxiety,
Mm.
and I just said to him like I haven't gone through, alhamdulillah, I haven't gone through any sort of like real trauma. Like to me, like my level threshold of trauma might be, like a lot higher compared to a lot of people. And there might be someone who, skips their morning coffee and they're like, oh my God, it's the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of things out there on the internet, Andrew Tate or anyone, that has strong opinions that, like, you got to remember the internet's the wild, wild west,
Yeah, very
right?
true.
World Wide Web. And there's stuff out there and it might not necessarily apply to you. You got to remember that there's algorithms and stuff on Facebook, TikTok that are just putting things in front of you. At the end of the day, you can choose to like it or not like it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, be a consumer. Don't get consumed by it, right?
Well, even with the consumer thing, you don't want to over-consume as well. Like, for example, like platforms like Twitter, like that's people constantly updating their thoughts and whatever. They're just tweeting whatever they think, you know what I mean? And I guess as humans, we're not, like, I guess, created to have those many thoughts, you know what I mean? Like, just imagine right now, if I could think of what you, and you are all thinking at the same time, you know what I mean? Obviously, that's going to stress you out at a certain point. So you need that, like, sort of, like, balance where you consume, but you don't, you know what I mean?
Definitely. And I think on social media as well, we saw it like over lockdowns and over everything. Usually I can gauge, like if I'm talking to you and I sort of feel like you might get offended or anything, I might not say something, I might hold back. Whilst on the internet, there isn't really that filter. It's just whatever they think, straight onto their phone, boom, 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 chuck it on. It's, the best way to put it is like when people comment something negative on a video.
Yep.
I have never, ever been on social media and had a video or piece of content affect me to the point where I'm like, nah, I got to sit there and let them know how I feel. Right? So like we've got to take that into mind, number one. And number two, when you see stuff on the internet or like or when people are writing things, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know who has an intellectual disability. You don't know who has a learning disability. You don't know, like what issues they're going through. Like there was this one guy, he commented on my video and he said something like, oh, man, like he said something like it didn't hurt me or anything like that. It was just like so stupid. Like I can't, someone who doesn't even follow me.
Yeah.
And I just replied, I'm like, bro, did your wife make you sleep on the couch last night or something? and then he messages me and he's like, oh, sorry, man, I just had a bad day and your video come up and I just said, yeah, that's what he replied back. Like he deleted the comment and messaged me privately.
Okay.
So you really don't know, Gary Vee always speaks about it, I think, on Crashing It, where he says the way you put something on LinkedIn or the way we consume something on LinkedIn isn't the way we're going to consume on Instagram or on TikTok, etc., etc. Everything on the internet, man, just take with a pinch of salt. Just consume it. That's it, man. Water off the duck's back.
Exactly. And most of the time, people don't expect a consequence for what they've done on the internet because it's just words on a screen.
Yeah.
If you actually think about it, when you actually look at it from like an outside perspective, or for example, you're a bird or a different species, doesn't know what the actual context of what's going on is, and you look down, there's just somebody looking at a screen. That's all it is. It's just a bunch of letters on a screen. Doesn't really mean that much. Like the amount of effect it can have on you is based off of how much you allow it to affect you. You know what I mean? There's a quote like, oftentimes we suffer more in our heads than we actually do in reality.
Yeah.
So if you allow this thing to linger on your brain for too long, it's gonna obviously get to you. But if you kind of go, hang on, let me look at this from the outside. I'm quoting who?
You're stoic.
We love the story.
Yeah. It's your fault. But so oftentimes when we look at things from the outside perspective, bro, and we think about it from like, let's just look at this from an objective point of view. Is this actually really a big deal? Is what's going on now actually gonna, in 5-10 years, is it gonna affect me that much?
Don't even go 5-10 years. You could even go like 6 months from now.
Yeah, bro.
It means nothing,
tomorrow,
right?
bro. Tomorrow, you're not even gonna think about it.
Yeah, of course, man. And there are things that you say today that next week might not mean a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to Suhail's point before about like trying to push your views onto other people. Like all these things that we're touching on, like even like when you get emotionally cut, if someone says, I don't like David Goggins, you know what I mean? Or someone says, I don't like this type of food, or I don't like this type of coffee. It's like, no, I love this so much that you have to. It's like pineapple on pizza. Someone will, like, people would argue for like 10 minutes about pineapple on pizza because they're so emotionally invested on a point. They're like, this has to be as important to me as it is to you. It's like, well, it's not. And it's that simple. And it's a crazy thing to understand. It's like, eventually you have to just say, hey, this is my opinion, and if I can't change your mind, that's like, you know, I can't talk about
There we go, man.
Hey, that's tough.
Wrap it up. There's no more videos anymore, man. He's found out. He's found the formula.
That is true.
Yeah, like
That's
and
an awkward one.
no,
Sorry, bro,
it's all good. But it goes back to my whole thing. Like it's disruption. It's not disrespect.
True.
Whenever I do make videos, like, you know, I can just disrupt your train of thought and be like, hey, this is what you think, but this is what I think, right? But I'm not there to disrespect you and be like,
True.
because you drink a piccolo, you're you're not a man.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's too much milk in it.
It's not emotional. Like it's not talking about like the environment. And see, some people are like obviously environmentally conscious. You know, some people are carnivores and they don't, or vegans, and they're pushing these values, or like you said before about trans and LGBTQ rights. It's not anything that severe. You're talking about, like you said, cherry ripe before.
Yeah.
Types of coffee. It's, you know, it's just everyday things.
Playful.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it really is. And, you know, that's the internet. And I think a lot of people like overthink content creation. It's like whenever someone makes videos or puts out a photo or anything, their first thought is never, oh man, this looks good, I should put it up. It's, this person's going to think this, that's why I'm going to put it up. Or this person is going to think this, that's why I'm not going to put it up.
Yeah.
Right?
And
It's,
that's like
it's never like, you know, just, you know, I made this, it's so awesome, it's fun.
yeah,
Let me just put it up.
it's like your debilitating mindset as well.
Yeah, of course. That's what's built up over time, and you know that's what the internet is. And
How do you work on that as someone who posts content quite frequently? Like, are you thinking on a post video, hey, this is going to make people laugh? Or is it like thinking about one person? Or
so it's come to the point where now I just put up videos that I feel comfortable making.
Does the boss need to sign it off?
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah.
You know, she's there co-signing everything. So, you know, like if, you know, it's like Biggie and Diddy. Yeah. I'm Biggie, she's Diddy. She's just there like, yeah, this is good, put it up. And honestly, it's come to the point where we're sort of working together always. And by the way, I'm talking about my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually have
you
a
know,
boss.
where like I know what she likes, she knows what I like. And anytime we have an idea and brainstorm, we just send it to each other. And, you know, we put it out there because at the start, it was like, oh, you know, is this going to work? You know, you should say it like this, don't say it like this. Whilst now it's just like, you know, I found my flow and I just sort of follow that structure and I put it out there. And she always says it, like, just put out content. You really don't know who's going to view it, who's going to see it, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, you know, alhamdulillah, I'm just making videos, having fun with it. And I think for the rest of the year, that was my goal.
Yeah.
From the last time I sat down with you boys, is just to have fun with it.
And continue.
Yeah, and just continue going on and continue going on. And alhamdulillah, like, you know, it's building up.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. Like, I wouldn't want it any other way. So if I haven't been cancelled, so
Yeah.
you know, that's
We
good.
can change that now.
With that as well, the cancer thing, do you ever think when you're creating content, like you might not outwardly think this as well, but do you ever worry that like that maybe down the line one of my content, like it might get some sort of backlash that I guess you'll get cancelled type of thing, you know?
Yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
you don't make the same content they used to make back in the days when you used to make YouTube, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, of course. Anyway, if that comes back and bites me, like, so be it, right? It's a
Yeah.
different time period. Like we've seen what happened to Kevin Hart. We've seen what happens to other people. You know, if it comes back.
Yeah.
But I think the context is at that time, as a 16-year-old or 17-year-old,
True.
that's a high school train of thought, right? You're judging someone based on their past rather than their present. Then,
Yep.
you know, like there's people that, you know, live a life full of sin, and then at the end of the day, you know, if they take their shahada,
Yeah.
Yep.
No cap.
right? So
Yeah.
who are you to turn around and say this? And you know, I'm not like the most religious or faithful.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, I do have my foundations and everything like that
Mhm.
down pat, alhamdulillah. But you know, like there are people that will just, you know, just try and rain on someone's parade. And if someone has to dig that deep to get to me, then so be it. You know, it is what it is. But for now, I just focus on the now, focus on what's to come. And yeah, who knows what that can be, you know, like from our last podcast to what it is now, it's, you know, it's a complete different type of beast.
Oh, for sure. Oh, 100%.
So much has changed. Like, you know, alhamdulillah, I've had a lot of opportunities,
Yeah.
you know, worked with quite a few people, quite a few companies as well,
Oh,
which has been
100%.
awesome.
And how has that been? Because obviously you worked with guys like, you worked at KO, I've seen.
Yeah, KO is awesome, man.
Big Boy
Sh-
Volks.
Yeah, Big Boy Volks. We did the Cambosis fight as well.
Yeah.
Also went up to Newcastle for the No Limit card, boxing card.
Yeah.
All awesome, man. I think anything sports.
Yeah.
Sports and usually music. For me, more so music than sports. But you know, they're two things that I really enjoy, and you know, they're part of, you know, my upbringing, right? So yeah, I'm just really enjoying that, and they were unique experiences.
I don't know how into UFC you are. You pretty into UFC? Or?
I mean, I've built it up over time. I think over lockdown, I think I sort of had no choice but to get into UFC because that was the only sport going on.
I hope one day, inshallah, bro, you get proper into the UFC because you're gonna realize you actually sat with, and you had a laugh with probably one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Bro, a roll as well. He rolled
Oh no,
like-
and honestly, like he is one of the greatest fighters, and absolute gentleman. Like, bro, from the moment I stepped into Volkanovski's gym, freestyle MMA, his coach, top bloke.
Yeah.
Him, top bloke. All the boys that train there, top blokes. And, you know, like, he is the pound for pound number one at the moment.
For sure.
And personally, I feel like he doesn't get enough credit.
Does, of course
Yeah.
not, bro.
You know, for someone who's probably like yourself, who's followed UFC for a long time,
Yeah.
will probably think it even deeper than myself, right?
Yeah.
Was, you know, there is still so much more to come. And the more I learn about the UFC, the more I realize, like, I soak it in and I'm just like, man, I really did sit with the greatest, one of the greatest Australian athletes and the greatest UFC athlete that we're probably going to have in a long time. So,
True, 100%.
and, you know, his skill matches his personality and his absolute top bloke.
This is something that might be, it's on topic, but it's a little bit left of center. And it's because I was speaking. I was watching or rewatched The Office again. Sorry, and the ending. Andy goes. He goes. I wish there was a way to know that you were in the good old days while you were there. You know what I mean? So it's like,
of course.
you like in the future, you're gonna look back and go, "Father, that was the good old days."
Yeah.
But you didn't know in that moment. You were kind of going through the motions. Do you do anything to kind of pinch yourself and bring yourself into the moment in order for you to like genuinely appreciate what's going on right now currently?
So I think that's my whole cornerstone of content creation is when I make the content, it's for that moment, right? So I don't ever look back and think, oh yeah, it's the good old days, or maybe like further back. But now I just take content and document everything. That's why there's no such thing as a bad video.
Yeah.
Unless it's like really like unless I'm just having a bad day or anything like that. Photos, videos. Like I never used to take photos when I'm married. When I got married,
Yeah, true.
like my wife will take photos of almost anything and everything.
Yeah.
Might not post everything,
Yeah.
but we can always look back and document those moments because, you know, alhamdulillah, like we live in a time where, you know, maybe Instagram or Google Drive or whatever, you put all those photos back. You can always, you know, be present in the moment and also look back and, you know, like almost live through those moments. So,
What's your thoughts on the people that say you're not living in the moment?
Sorry?
What's your thoughts on when people say, obviously, as you're documenting a certain moment, you're not actually living in that moment as well?
I think a moment is longer than just that 5 seconds that you decide to take a photo, or, you know, if, you know, we have this video and 10 years from now, you know, we look back when inshallah all you boys have kids and everything, you look back, be like, oh, you know, this is what we used to do.
Yeah.
Or, you know, this is where it all started. You know, same thing with my videos. Like I look back at my first video back on Instagram, I'm there like shaking, quivering and everything. I look back, I don't look at it as the good old days. I'm like, nah, in that moment, that's who I should have been. And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
You know, when I start, and now I look back and I don't think about, oh yeah, it's the good old days. It's like, nah, I was there, you know, put my workout on the line and everything. And yeah, I just don't think of it as the good old days because it's all documented, it's all there.
Yeah.
And it'll be there forever.
It's crazy also.
I don't have to tell the story if I just show you.
True.
Definitely.
Very true. And it's also crazy how, like, when you document a certain moment, like the subtle details that are happening in that moment that you forget because you're not so present, type of thing. You know what I mean? Like you might capture a certain moment and you realize, I guess you looked a certain way, or like that room. Like for example, I look back on some fair income videos that like we've shot in the past, type of thing. And I remember when Ashraf was thinking of getting behind the bookshelves and stuff, there's that little black like drape or whatever, you know? I thought, what's the point? Like, what is it type of thing? You know what I mean? And then you look back at it and then you can see like the transformation sort of over time. I'm like a sentimental person as well. So like when I look at stuff like that, you see the progress along the way, and then you can actually, I guess,
High key, a sentimental person.
high key, yeah. I can actually cherish it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
It's just those small little details that, you know, you don't look at that moment, but you always look back, you're like, oh, wow,
True.
this is good.
And it goes back to what Sohail said as well, because often you're so fixed on, like, you're so in your head type of thing with what's going on in the world that, like, you're not really, like, sort of present type of thing, you know?
Definitely, and it's so important to be present. Like, I think kids made me realize it as well, you know, being there in that moment. Like, you can be somewhere and not be there, you know, mentally, right? You're there physically, like, yeah, this is good. But I guess that's why a lot of people look back at, for example, clubbing and almost cringe, right?
Yeah.
Because they were there physically, but mentally, were they really there? Probably not. You know, so there are certain things and certain activities that you do.
Yeah.
That, you
Yeah,
know,
there's-
it's really good because you were there mentally, like usually on a holiday. When you wake up stress free, your digestion is good.
Yeah.
'Cause I saw this TikTok the other day, and they're like, "Oh, how come when you eat food overseas, doesn't bloat you, doesn't nothing?" It's like because you're stress free. You know, you're kicking
that's
back
true.
and everything. So you're there in the moment. You're present. You don't have distractions.
Yeah.
You don't have things going on around you outside of your environment. And that's why, like, even this year, I've traveled a lot of Australia. I did
Yeah.
Noosa, Gold Coast, Sydney.
You
Doing
love a Gold
Adelaide
Coast.
soon. Pardon?
You love a Gold Coast.
This is my first time ever.
Was that your first?
First time ever in
You
Gold
went twice,
Coast.
didn't you?
No, I went to Noosa. First time.
New
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
a scuba
Noosa.
license?
No, unfortunately,
Would
not,
you get
man.
your scuba diver license?
No.
Why?
No.
Isn't it a flex to be like, I have my scuba diving license? You can tell people.
Nah, man, it's like to me having a scuba diving license is like having a pen license. Like
Hey,
like that's
I know.
like that's awesome.
I know
That
three
like,
people.
bro, like I'm happy for you. And I hope you have that moment where someone asks you for it.
I know. The people.
No. Wait.
same people-
And the main reason I wouldn't get it is because I saw his videos. And bro, well, half the time it was raining and everything. I'm like, bro, this, like, Ashraf is trying to seek discomfort, right? I'm at the point in my life where I'm trying to
Hey,
seek
that was the
comfort.
rainforest. That was the rainforest. That was.
See, I don't go out of my way to seek discomfort anymore.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
we
my life, alhamdulillah, I wouldn't want it any other way. It's as stressful as it is. You know, I look after the second biggest gym in Australia. I've got 2 kids, a wife, and I make videos. Like, you know, whenever I need to do something, it's something relaxing. Like, I do this podcast.
Yeah.
For me, this, like, you know, when a girl gets her nails done, this is what this is like for me.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Carlos is going to have him on more often. Like,
Oh, 100%.
he's going to get his nails done every week.
Yeah,
now.
so, you know, like, I've come to a point in my life where I got to seek a bit of comfort.
Yeah.
And then, you know, maybe once my kids are in school and
Yeah.
there's a bit more time for discomfort.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's why, I think the only thing uncomfortable that I've been doing is I'm back in training and I've started running.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
nice.
I
Running's
haven't
the
ran.
Lowest area to
Wait,
seek discomfort
wait,
anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Before we continue on to that, can you swim?
Yeah, I can survive.
Yeah,
That's a different-
explains a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's why they're all violating me
He
about
felt
the scuba
personally-
diver
felt like you
license.
attacked him personally, bro.
No. Yeah, no. Well, like, it's
I
nice.
agree.
Don't get me
Listen,
wrong.
listen.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
agree
We
as
both
well.
agree.
And agree.
No.
Yeah, of course, man.
No. Can
Like,
you
it's
swim?
awesome. It's a novelty, man.
Can you swim?
It's like having a gun.
Everyone here can't swim.
I'm like Michael Phelps. Right? Hang on a second. You're not subscribed. Can you do me a favor? Run that mouse or your finger to the bottom there. Click that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell as well. Thank you.
Everyone here can't swim. When is there a day you're gonna have the opportunity to swim with fishes, man? Only when you go to get your license, man.
That is very
Well,
true.
I'm telling you, bro.
Go back to the running
Your pen
thing.
license.
You got back into running recently?
I never was into running. The last time I ran was when we played soccer, Heidelberg Stars. So I was like 15. It was the last time I ran intentionally.
Running is so boring when you do it. Like just fun.
Honestly, now I'm starting to prefer it over training, over resistance
That
training.
means you've done it quite a bit.
No,
but-
I've only done it for a week.
Okay, yeah.
But,
Oh,
But I'm starting to enjoy it a bit more, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, why?
The main reason I enjoy running over resistance training is because resistance training never gets easier if you want to make gains. If you want to make gains, you're progressively overloading your body. Every single time you go to the gym, you're not lifting less, you always got to lift more.
Yeah.
If you're lifting less, you're looking like crap.
True.
Yep.
Usually, you're regressing instead of progressing. With running, every single time you run, even though you run that little bit more, it just gets easier. My breathing is better. Now my body is starting to give in. So I'm starting to get shin splits and stuff like that. And, inshallah, my goal is to run next year.
marathon or half?
Half a marathon or 10Ks. Like, I got to start somewhere.
Even 10Ks is long, bro.
Bro, I do
Okay.
3Ks on the treadmill. I'm dying, man.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine what 10K is like. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Do you
that's my
listen to
little
stuff
own-
when you run?
Pardon?
Do you listen to stuff when you run?
Yeah, of course,
You're
man.
cheating.
What?
This is
Well, let's David
No,
Goggins.
please.
This is
No,
David Goggins.
please. Yeah, okay. No,
The-
elaborate.
David
taking
Goggins,
Elaborate,
David
yeah.
Goggins
Long
runs
story
for
short.
hours.
Okay, yeah.
And he just goes, when you listen to something, you're cheating. I listen to stuff when I run.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
When I say I listen to stuff, I don't actively listen. Like, I couldn't listen to a podcast whilst
Yeah.
running, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm in the environment of a
Music
gym.
or something.
Yeah.
There's just music playing in my headphones.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I wish I had the opportunity to run in nature.
Yeah,
And,
that
I
would
always
be
say
beautiful.
when I retire, inshallah, I want to move to Noosa. You know,
Yeah.
like I always say it as a joke with my wife, like we always say it to each other. But I
Yeah.
think that's
Well,
It's
you know
nice.
just to go somewhere
The
warmer and
rainforests
just
are nice.
yeah, of course. I think just like the atmosphere of just being in warmer weather
that
and
makes sense.
having that you know freedom and of you know running and doing
Yeah,
whatever.
Like this whole week has been on off with the weather. Yeah, we had one beautiful day. Like today's amazing. Yeah, and we had the day where it was just pouring rain. It was just
Yeah.
dark from the morning till the night.
It was hail.
That's the thing that people don't understand about Melbourne. Yeah, you want to ask why all of us are bipolar and just understand the weather, and then you get to know us. You affected by
You're a well-traveled man. Everyone here is well-traveled. While I say this, God didn't give Melbourne good weather because it would be untouchable. It would be the great, like it's already the greatest place to live.
100%.
If we had good weather,
Game over.
bro, no one would
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
It's the greatest place on earth to live, man. Like I've been to every state in Australia. You know, inshallah, maybe overseas next year. I'll speak it into existence.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been everywhere in Australia. Melbourne's untouchable, man.
Northern Territory?
Just Northern Territory and Perth are the only two places I haven't been, and
Nice.
Tassie.
Yeah.
But inshallah, we'll get around there.
Perth's-
But then again, no, listen.
And Tassie.
Did you go Perth? Like, did you just go to the suburbs and kick it, or did you just go to the city, or did you go to the beach side?
I've been 12 times. So I
Okay.
went all around.
But then again, you
Yeah.
have family there. That's why,
Yeah,
right?
I've been Fremantle, Perth, city, suburbs, around
Have
meeting
you gone
people.
further up the east
It's-
coast?
As in out of Perth, more Western Australia.
Yeah.
Nah, Western Australia,
no.
sure. Where you gonna go?
It is beautiful,
Yeah.
that
Yeah?
east coast.
All of
Can
it. But
imagine, man.
it's the biggest state. There's beauty everywhere. You
Yeah.
know, like even going to the mines.
Yeah.
In Western Australia is unreal.
No, but people
know?
forget about that. Like the outback, Australian outback is actually
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know,
What?
Loki.
The Australian outback is gorgeous.
Yeah, so is
Yeah.
Australian
Yeah.
waters.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, man, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's one of the best landscapes, bro.
Isn't it just dry?
Not out-
Desert
not
Altaka
outback.
College used to be like that.
Not
There's a lot to it. But you, as soon as you travel around, like for example, outside of Melbourne and Sydney, maybe besides Gold Coast as well, the cities are very dry, dead. It's not really active. So Melbourne and Sydney really are the two lively cities.
I guess if you want to relax, you go everywhere else. Sydney and Melbourne's to make money.
But even that, like Sydney, it's obviously for more money and stuff. But Melbourne has different areas where it's not as busy. Like Sydney, all around is busy, traffic.
like Southeast.
Ugly
Melbourne's
roads.
a good balance, bro.
Yeah,
does,
if
yeah.
you can literally
That's what I mean.
You
If,
can
if
get
Mel-
anywhere.
if Melbourne had great
Yeah, it
weather,
would
it'd be
be
untouchable.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like the
Wallah.
southeast, you can go there and just be in complete incognito. Like no one knows what's going on in the southeast.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got like the northwest suburbs where like I think that's where basically everyone else lives. You know.
Yeah, but
No
then
offense
again,
to
we're
Southeast.
like with Northwest, right? Our culture and like the type of nationalities we have up here, everyone's in everyone's business. That's why I feel so active.
Yeah.
Same
True.
thing in Sydney. You go Western Sydney,
It's
right?
all
I'm
stuff
like
like-
leaving Bay Vista 11 o'clock at night, about to fall asleep. People are coming out at that time because
Yeah.
people, are more lively. People are going out and doing things.
Yeah, they have cafes that open until 12 o'clock, bro.
Yeah, of
It
course.
would be
man.
hard done by to find something
Yeah.
like that here.
Exactly. Where are you gonna get a piccolo here at night? Macca's.
I'll throw hands, bro. That's
Exactly,
the
man.
worst place on earth.
Nothing on live
Exactly.
on open.
Sorry, if you're gonna sponsor us in the future, I like Macca's, but
Macca's is
if you're not,
horrible.
Ruh, man, you guys make the
Horrible.
worst coffee on earth, bro.
Macca's coffee's bad.
It's terrible, bro. Like, I had one. Get it
This
out
guy
here.
got it.
I had one in Ramadan. I remember once. I went before Tahajjud.
Mashallah.
MashaAllah.
Yeah,
Allahu
Allahu
Akbar, you know. Wow.
But
FRG.
I had a latte from there. I was like, "Far, this was the nicest latte I've had in my life, bro. What the hell?" I went there the next morning to get the same thing from the same place, the same lady behind the counter. It was the worst thing I ever tasted in my life.
Inconsistency. I don't think they get paid enough, right?
Well,
True.
I think that's what you have to realize is like certain places, don't necessarily just get paid enough, right?
When
I used to always like make videos about fast food and having a laugh about like people that work at Macca's because I
Yeah.
used to work at Macca's, right? And then like the more like
the
I
trauma.
started observing, I'm like, man, these people actually just don't get paid enough. That's why the
Yeah, for sure.
the product isn't there.
True.
Like Burak's a vlogger, yeah, he does vlogs, videos and stuff like that. And one of his first videos, he mentions he's like recording him making a coffee and stuff, yeah, and he talks about like the love, like it's an art form in of itself, like
course.
the love and whatever that you actually put into. I sound like a crackhead when I keep mentioning coffee, but I actually genuinely mean it.
No, you sound like a white girl by saying crackhead. Carry on.
But the what do you call it, Macca's?
Yeah.
It's just getting it
Yeah,
out.
man, it's just
getting
churning out. And I
Yeah.
think like that's why they say men or husbands are usually better cooks than wives
Yeah, I've never heard
because
Same.
no, listen to this.
I'm loving this.
Men or husbands are usually better cooks than
better
their
at
wives.
everything.
I'll
Oh,
tell
sorry.
you why. because the mother at home or the wife is always cooking, consistently cooking. So when there is that one opportunity for a man to make the food, what does he do? He makes it with love.
True.
Because he sits there, he barely makes food. So the one time he makes food, it's banging.
I'm gonna disagree, Mum. I love you. My dad can never make. My dad doesn't even know.
Not Billy. Not
Oh,
Billy.
Bill Goldberg. No, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Who does the better barbecue?
I do.
He's there with the fan.
All right, hold on, bro. No, you're right. 100%. I get exactly where you're coming from.
'Cause you're not in a rush.
Anytime, yeah, exactly. Anytime you do something with love, it's felt.
Yeah, definitely.
Not that they don't do it with love, but because they're doing so many other things, they have to rush it.
Exactly.
That's really what you're trying to say. Yeah, it's,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know that pours into anything in life, right? You know, pours coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it just
Yeah.
pours into anything in life. If you do something with love, you know, there's more enjoyment. You know, the way you guys will probably speak to someone that you don't know compared to the way you speak to me is probably like a lot more like rigid structure. Everyone's sitting up. Everyone's like trying to get their questions in.
Yeah.
Whilst, you know, if it's someone you're more comfortable with,
You just laid back.
or there's a bit, there's a bit more love. Everything's a lot more
So
organic and
are
everything.
you a good cook? You cook?
Yeah, I mean, I love cooking. Honestly, I wish I had the time to cook more, and I wish I never got into like training as well.
Yeah.
Because like most of my food is very basic. Yeah, I wish I had the opportunity
Basic
to cook.
as in what? A chicken breast, brown rice,
Chicken,
broccoli?
no, not that basic, but
Boiled chicken.
you know,
No,
just
no,
like
different.
protein, carbs. Like, you know, the way I see food now is just like macronutrients. Yeah, and I think it'll be like that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's an ugly thing.
Yeah.
Even calories, just looking at it like,
Unfortunately.
what a
Yeah, of
waste. I
course,
can't
man.
eat this. This is 500
Or
calories
like,
that.
you know, just naturally, I'll just look at the back of everything. Just
Are
naturally.
you at
man.
that stage now? Looking at the back of everything?
No. Like that's how I'm probably gonna be for the rest of my life. Just the way things are.
You have a
Yeah.
cheat
know?
day? You have a cheat day?
Oh, I have a cheat life, bro. At the moment, man, I'm just training and eating. To be honest,
Oh,
like
okay.
I'm not really at the moment because last time I jumped on the podcast, like I was not enjoying. Like I wasn't even training
Yeah.
at that point.
I remember.
You know, like I hated training, and then recently, before I went Gold Coast, got back into training, and now a bit of running on the side.
Nice.
So by the time
It's just
this
for
comes
overall
out-
health?
yeah, just general health and well-being, you know, and just look decent.
What's a day in the life of Teddy look like? Obviously with the kids, the family, the business, work.
So wake up.
Because you're up pretty early as well.
Yeah, man. My kids are up 6 o'clock every morning. Anyone who has kids will know 6 a.m. is usually breakfast everywhere, man. So 6 a.m. we're up naturally. You know, you don't need an alarm if your responsibilities wake you up. Then up and about, usually have breakfast, chill out with the girls. Because I usually start later in the day for work,
Yeah.
I like to spend time with my daughters in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm there, you know, present, eating breakfast with them. I don't check emails. I don't check social media.
Yeah.
I try and keep it to the side, keep my phone, away. Watch cartoons with them, you know, if they want to run around, because now they're both walking and running.
Yeah.
They always want to chase each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, so like I just have fun with them, enjoy that moment with them and with my wife there as well.
Yep.
Sometimes my wife trains in the morning, so it'll be just me and the girls. And if she isn't training, then we'll just all of us.
Yeah.
And then straight to work. Usually on my drive to work, there's about like that 15, 20 minute.
Yeah.
I can usually sneak in a podcast.
Podcast, yeah.
I
Or-
want to touch on that, bro. Sorry.
Yeah.
If that's okay. Can
Yeah,
I?
of course.
Yeah, go.
Just
Yeah, go.
because before the podcast, there was 2 questions we were talking about.
Yeah.
And we said we want to ask Teddy.
Yeah.
One of them we'll chat on next about the wife and the money she makes. Remember, you want to touch it?
Yeah.
But now you
Money.
said your wife.
No,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, go on.
But you just said your wife trains in the morning. And we're,
Usually.
yeah, and we're touching on the topic with the young man over there, just about like with our wives, like you know,
Yeah.
and with our spouse, like trying to motivate them to train. Sometimes maybe like some sisters are into training. I know my sister already trains. It's not something, but for someone that's never trained before, how would you, like, because obviously maybe you see a lot of people coming into the gym. How do you push like your partner to get into gym? Because going in the morning is hard. Like just even hearing your wife do that, I'm like,
of
that
course.
seems uncommon.
So with my wife, she usually trains in the morning, but now she's sort of converted over to the evening. You know, she's doing a lot more like powerlifting type training, so she's got to train in the evening. And you can't wake up in the morning and deadlift 120 or squat over 100 kilos first thing in the morning. You got to let your body warm up a bit and everything. But whenever she does go in the morning, I think with training, it's not necessarily, you don't do it for the sake of training. You do it for the feeling you get afterwards. You know, it's in a sense, you seek discomfort. You know, you could tell someone go to the gym all day, you know, like all day, every day. But if they don't want to do it for themselves, they're not going to want to do it. And, you know, out of all the thousands of people that I see at the gym every day, 9 times out of 10, they're not there because they're trying to be the next bodybuilder or they're trying to be the next powerlifter or the next like whatever. They're just there to improve themselves 1% or even just to feel better. My wife is a mother. She's at home all day. She's at home with the kids, Google Gaga, baby talk. Going to the gym is that 1 hour or 2 hours where you go in there. Nothing matters except for the weight in front of you. It's you versus the weight versus you. That's all it is.
How do you get them to do it? Like, how would you tell that person, like your partner, you're married for 6 months, you've been going gym, you're trying to take care of your health. What do you try to say? Do you try to just explain the benefits? Like you said, the psychological benefits of post-gym feeling, like, With
people, no matter what it is in life, you got to, whatever they're going to do, it's an exchange for their time. Right? So if you're telling them they spend 60 minutes of their time at the gym, you've got to show them that in this 60 minutes, the benefits and value you're going to get out of it is priceless. And usually most people will buy something or buy it with their time, I guess, is if the value outweighs the time. Usually out of like that in the hour that they're watching Netflix at home, what are they really going to get? Probably not much. However, if they do go to the gym, you really don't know what something is until you try it. So a lot of these people that don't want to go to the gym, or the sisters or brothers that don't want to go to the gym, it's usually because they either don't know what they're doing or haven't done it before. I've never ever heard someone go to the gym and like that actually knows what they're doing and, like leave and be like, oh no, I'll never do this again. It'll usually always be a part of them.
Or they'll just be like, I'm lazy. Like, I'd love to get back into it.
Yeah,
but
of course.
It's not because I'd never do it. Gym's a waste of time.
No. It's never like that. Everyone usually feels the gym, leaves the gym feeling amazing.
Yeah.
Usually. Because it's a sense of achievement.
100%.
So maybe sometimes you've got to explain that sense of achievement. Sometimes for some people, it's got to be that physical change. However, some people are not usually attracted to the physical change. It's like, oh, I'm happy the way I am. There's this like, thing on the internet of like, self-love and everything. It's like, you can love yourself, but also, not look sloppy, right? You know what I mean? And maybe I'm just speaking for myself, right?
Yeah.
Like I hate when I'm sitting here and I've got to like pull my t-shirt because I feel like, I feel I look a certain way, or I got to like roll down my sleeve because I'm insecure about my arms or anything like that. I've never ever heard anyone go to the gym and regret it.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying, 100%. And even beyond that, I can speak to the psychological aspect of it because recently I had a mad migraine the whole day. I think it was one of the Tuesday. It was like dead weather. I had to work 9 to 5 as usual, and I was just like, the whole day was just a grunge. It was just terrible. I felt like it was like one of the worst things. I had the coffee, didn't work. I had another coffee, didn't work. Ate good food, didn't work. I had a dessert, didn't work. I was like, you know what, Carlos, let's just go gym.
Went to migraine?
The gym. Yeah, I went to the gym, but this is the thing, on the drive there, I hated my life, bro. I was gonna lose it because I was like, bro, what am I even doing right now? Let's just go to sleep.
Half the workout is getting to the gym,
bro.
Because once you're there, you've got no choice, man. Walk in and get it done.
Unbelievable. Finish the first set, the second set. You can start to feel your body just changed. And then after the end of the workout, I was having a full conversation with this guy that goes to the gym with me. I was having another conversation with the other guy. I left the gym smiling. I was jaded, and I couldn't fall asleep until 2 a.m.
That's usually the case, man. The hormones being released, nutrition partitioning, like everything that you're eating, blood is flowing better and everything. It's just moving. Like you don't necessarily, like after you eat, it's sunnah to take steps. Imagine if a bit like, taking, I don't know how many steps it is after you eat is a sunnah. Imagine what a training session could do for you.
Facts, very facts.
Allah, bro, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's it's like the difference between earning $1 and earning $10, right?
And that feeling becomes like crack, bro. You just keep chasing it.
Definitely, man. It's a high.
Yeah,
But it's a good
natural
thing.
high.
It's beautiful. Like, look at all the benefits, like psychologically and even mentally.
Definitely, man.
You
And
know?
at the end of the day, you can walk a horse towards water, but you can't force it to drink. You can explain all the benefits, but if that person doesn't want to see that, then it is what it is, right?
Definitely, bro.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the big thing.
I'm gonna take a quick left turn. Let's go before we wrap up the episode. Obviously, some big things have happened in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm sure that pretty sure everyone in the world knows the Queen's death. Yeah, I want to touch into that a little bit. How was that reaction for you when you saw it and all that kind of stuff? Did you have some sort of, emotional, not that I expect you to?
No, not necessarily, man. It was like water off a duck's back for me. Obviously, it's sad. It's still a death,
From the
right?
PR
And like,
side,
no matter how much, she's not close to me or anything like that, right? But it's still a death. And I think, for someone who's been around for that long, and it's impacted many other lives. No one has a funeral like that for no reason, right?
Oh, yeah.
So obviously, she's had some sort of impact, whether it's on the people around her and everything like that. You know, so yeah, it's been nothing for me. I'm just grateful for the public holiday, really.
Yeah.
But there are some people that
4
do
days.
have that emotional reaction of, hey, but she's done this and she's done that. But that's between her and the creator. That's not for me to speak
Yeah,
about. You know, I'm not
true.
gonna sit there.
Yeah, I think it's the weirdest things. People can have such a obsession to someone that they've never ever known, like, I guess, properly in their lives, or never met properly, you know what I mean? Like, I remember there's a clip of, like, now he's King Charles, but he's walking and he's, like, greeting the people in the public and all that kind of stuff, and someone said to him, I queued up 13 hours overnight just to say, let's go hello to you or something. He goes, oh, no, you shouldn't. And he's saying it in a joking manner, but he low-key meant that type of thing, you know, because in his head as well, he's thinking, like, why the hell are people, like, here just to, I don't even know them like that.
How about if he does feel like they should have done it?
He said shouldn't.
Yeah, no, but how about if he feels like they should have done it? Like, how about if he feels the opposite? Like, he actually is. He's like, yeah, Das, you should wait 13 hours. If anything, you should wait 26.
Yeah.
Name one person you would queue 13 hours for.
Bro, Prophet Muhammad, that's it, bro.
Yeah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
It depends on what it's for. Like, is it literally just because the Queen, there's waiting 13 hours to have a convo with someone? You know what I mean? Like, if you've done what they said, you wait 13 hours, you have a 10-minute convo with the Queen.
Yeah.
That's a different story. I'm not saying I would do that, but I'm just saying, but if you're just going like it's a casket, but people have emotional connection, you know, the connection, that's all it is.
And, you know, they've got their lived experience and
Yeah.
emotional connection to that. And, you know, that's something that we can't explain.
It's like
anything
all
like
these,
that.
the emotional connections, like, oh, they've never met her. We're talking here about David Goggins, we're talking about Andrew Tate, or this person, Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X, all these famous people that have shaped people's perspectives on things. That's all it is. Someone's helped you on your path. Maybe a lot of people in England look up to the Queen. So it's an emotional thing. It's 70 years, you know, pretty much being as the ruler. Yeah. So it's just emotional. That's all it is.
You know, I just find that crazy how much or how many obligations the royal family has.
Yeah.
Like, imagine grieving and having all those obligations when someone in the family passes away of, you know, greeting people. I saw TikTok, some guy fist bumped Prince Charles. Like, imagine like at a funeral and you've got to go say hi to everyone, right?
Yeah, true. And
someone so close to you.
And complete your duty the whole time.
Exactly.
Because it's crazy, because sometimes you just think they're, I guess, figures in the world and all that kind of stuff, when in reality that was Charles's mum and Harry's grandmother and all that kind of stuff. Like, they're people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I just guess, like, with the Queen and stuff, I can't see the qualities that are, like, relatable or that someone could look up to someone for.
Well, maybe we're just young, right? You know, my family, my mum used to look up to Princess Diana. And when she died, every ethnic mum used to look at Princess Diana like she was the queen. And when she died, it was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So, like, for us, when we're older, we might feel a bit more connected to King Charles, right?
True.
So
it's like
who
Meghan
knows?
Markle and Prince Harry, because you see them grow up.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, now...
Like, oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like, oh, in 20, 30 years, like, I've seen them do so many beneficial things.
Definitely.
You know? And we're young, bro.
Yeah, true.
Really,
It's
I
like
don't...
when Kobe Bryant died.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
that
true.
sent a ripple effect because it's like, wow, this is a guy that we watched play basketball season in, season out.
Yeah. Also, it was tragic, bro.
Yeah,
Dying
of
with
course.
his daughter.
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I want to throw in a conspiracy theory about the Queen first.
Yeah.
Go
Is
ahead.
that all right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have to touch on the
before
money
you-
question, you remember?
Yeah, you
It's the
can
big...
do that one,
it's the
bro.
big
Before
one.
you throw in the conspiracy, I was just going to say if I go to the
This
conspiracy.
guy loves the Queen, bro.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Thank you
God
for
bless the
reminding me. Like, me personally, like, when you probably saw it with my close friends when I uploaded or whatever, like, I remember I was in the lab type of thing. You know what the funniest thing is? I went and actually, like, because I was at the lab pretty late doing blood collection and stuff, and I finished at like 1 a.m. And I went and I documented myself, because this is when she was like announced that she was like sick or she's possibly going to die. But by the way Twitter took it, I knew she was dead type of thing, you know, because they didn't take nothing
She was on her
seriously.
way out.
She was on her way out type of thing. And I think the thing that I'm more, I guess, intrigued about the whole situation, because I low-key watched the funeral and this and that, you know what I mean? But it's more because of the historic moment and like the history that like she's been involved in type of thing. Like the amount of like, I guess like generations and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like even the stuff involving colonialism, even the stuff like as in like things that we haven't seen before. Like she was there when like over like 15 prime ministers in the UK and all that kind of stuff. And I'm a guy that really likes history. So that's the only thing that I could probably relate to the Queen over. Other than that, it's just like, don't support that.
Yeah, well, she's witnessed like almost every historical event. Like,
World War One as well, yeah.
World War One, World War Two.
No, she wasn't. Not
After
World War
World War Two.
Just
Oh,
after
okay,
World War
yeah.
One.
But and
1914.
Like she's
I heard that on
lived through
different
it all, man.
podcasts.
World War
Yeah.
Two.
but
Yeah.
she was there from Winston Churchill. He was pretty much. He was yeah.
Yeah. So it goes to show, like,
Which
she's
is
lived-
crazy, yeah.
Yeah. So imagine just having a 10-minute conversation with her.
But she
right?
needed to go though, respectfully. Like respectfully, she needed to go. Why I say
we
that
all
is-
need to go, but
no, because I
Yeah.
feel like, because I was hearing someone give this opinion, like in regards to like the older you get, like the quality of life low-key decreases as well. You know what I mean?
oh, okay.
From that side of things, like she was low-key suffering type of thing. So she died peacefully. So that was
Make
meant
sure
to
you
be.
clip that statement without context.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't give him that last part that he added.
Oh,
No,
said
like
that she
I
needed
get
to
what you're
go.
trying to say,
Yeah.
but then again, yeah, like living her life, who knows what the quality of life
Yeah,
was like?
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sit in a fridge.
yeah,
She
exactly.
know all that
She can
kind of
just
stuff,
chill.
bro.
Yeah,
What's your
cryotherapy, cupping,
that life is not really of
Everything,
quality
bro.
though.
yeah.
Horse
Uh,
blood,
She
horse
just have
meat, whatever it is
thingy.
they used
What's
to
your
do.
conspiracy?
The conspiracy was that the queen was actually a descendant of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
That's
this-
it.
This guy.
Did you know that?
Get off Muslim.
Oh, no, no,
Twitter.
no.
Evidence behind it too.
There's evidence. Apparently, yeah.
Strong evidence, actually.
He got ridiculed. You know that, yeah.
Did it?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Who
Someone.
ridiculed
someone
I'm I'm interested in the theory.
Yeah, go
First,
theory.
before-
So the theory is that it dates back all the way to some queen of Sevilla. She's the queen of Sevilla or Valencia or something like that. She used to be a Muslim girl, or a Muslim
It's
lady.
understandable, actually.
She was from the I think from the Arab royal families, and then she got taken as a hostage, a part of a war, or something like that. And then she became a mistress to one of the kings in England or something like that. And then she ended up becoming part of the lineage of the
Well-
future kings and queens and stuff like
Royal
that
family.
of the royal family and stuff. So that to me was trippy. I was like, wait a second. Like, no way that's true. But to even have some sort of a link, that's crazy.
We forget the European countries used to intermarry just all throughout Europe.
Mm.
And then Spain was pretty much, ruled, or those areas of Spain for like 800 years by Muslims.
Well, the royal family really
So-
isn't British at the end of the day. That's another thing as well.
Yeah, but
You
it's
know.
even just that. It's like, subhanAllah,
They're-
So, I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is,
Hey, that's a nice
It
clip
is,
though, regardless
subhanallah.
though. TikTok, boof, 30 seconds,
Boom.
get people, Muslim TikTok going off.
I could have,
know?
I could have not
Elaborate.
paraphrased or just hit it on the nail on the head. I'll do my research now.
We'll,
I'll let you guys talk. I'll let Ashraf ask his question.
we'll copy those TikTokers, you know the one that goes, oh my god, have you heard of that conspiracy? And then,
What?
what?
Hook him in.
So, do you want to ask the question? Because you've been asking around, having chats with your mates about it. Just 'cause I might word it wrong, and then it doesn't give haq to the question.
no, you go for it, Habib.
Okay, these
You know what I mean?
guys, I don't know, these scuba diver boys have been asking questions about your relationship with you and your wife, because we're not married, and these guys had a debate too about like how would you feel if your wife made more than you? So that's a big question that these guys have been
Yeah.
they're like, I'll just tell you some of their opinions. They use the number 15K more.
Yeah.
One brother said,
Which is realistic.
yeah, one brother said she can't work there. One brother said she got to work less days. She pretty much got to quit.
Yeah.
She got to leave jobs. So that was one question. I think 15K was the number you guys used. You only go 50K, 20K. Yeah, 15K.
15K was the
10
question
to
that was
15K is realistic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the question that was proposed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously you, someone who's married, who,
Yeah.
we can only say we understand the dynamic of husband
course.
and wife.
Yeah.
Money, who wears the pants, all this stuff. So just wanted to get your opinion on,
When
that,
I
or at
f-
least, and other people you've heard that are married, because that's your age group,
Of course. So when I can only speak from my experience. When I first met my wife, dating, she was making more money than me.
Mm.
When I say more money, I mean probably like 20 or 30K more than me when I first met her. We got married, funded a wedding and everything, making less than her. We got married. In our first year of marriage, whilst she was pregnant with Adina, she still made more than me. Okay? If we want to go into detail, she made about 5 to 10K more than me in our first year of marriage.
Damn.
So this is his opinion.
That's
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when you do get married, it's not my money and your money, it's our money. It's no longer just like I'll pay for this, you pay for this.
Yeah.
When I tap the card, it's our money,
Yeah, true.
and we don't have a joint account because at the end of the day, it's our money. Because when you're in a relationship, you see it in the sense of like you're investing time, money, love, energy, and everything. That's the currency. You might not make as much money, but you can provide something worth more than money. And that's love.
True.
And you see it in families, you see it in relationships and everything. The main ingredient that's missing in most relationships is love. They have all the money in the world. They buy anything and everything they want. You know, up until today, I can proudly say I don't own a house. You know, whilst people's prerequisite before getting married is like, I'm not going to get married until I buy a house. I'm not going to have kids until I buy a house. However, whilst I dated, whilst I got married, I had something worth more than money. And that was something that you can't buy. You can go ask, you know, someone who doesn't have a parent. You can go ask someone who grew up in a family that has all the money in the world, but no time. No time for their kids. And if you ask them what would they prefer, that you know, car that they got as a P later, or just you know, for their parents to be at a footy game or soccer game on the weekend, they'll choose the parent being at a footy game or the partner being for them at that time, or you know, at an award ceremony or something like that. And I've got kids now, and you know, my wife has been at home looking after the kids for the past, so Adina's 3 years. So for the past 3 years, she's been looking after both girls. Now, what's that 15K gap? What's that 5K gap? When you can repay that over 3 years of her being at home. And at the end of the day, you can't, like, kids come with their own barakah. They come with their own blessings. A marriage comes with its own blessings. So it doesn't matter whether you're dating, whether you think, if your intention is in the right place, you just give what you can and leave the rest to the man above. That's the best way to put it, because money is nothing. At the end of the day, it's just a resource. Yeah, you can sit there and talk about like, oh yeah, you know, I make this much, I make that much. But I know people that make 100, 200K a year off social media, living at home. Can't afford like bare basics. Why? Because it's not about how much money you make; it's about how much money you save. You can make I know people that are in law making 100K a year, but they've got to spend an extra 20, 30K a year on suits, on shoes, on this, on transport, paying for parking in the city. So what's my wage for someone who works 10, 15 minutes away from home? I just have to wear my trackies and a nice pair of kicks at the gym compared to someone who has to keep up with that life.
True, exactly.
So at the end of the day, man, money is nothing. Whoever makes more, whoever makes less, at the end of the day, it's a team. And that's a team effort that, you know, holds the family together at the end of the day.
Inshallah, that's a good thing you guys can bring up in your boys chats, whatever you guys do. I want to ask one of...
say like you're not part of the boys chat.
Of course. No, definitely.
They say they're talking till 2 a.m. about it.
It's a 10-minute convo, bro. It is a 10-minute convo.
Are you in girl chats or something?
It's a 10-minute convo
I think you're looking
for
at
someone who's lived the experience.
Yeah.
Right? But for someone who hasn't lived the experience...
Because they're looking at the wrong girls, bro.
Not just at the wrong girls,
the
right?
I don't know what love is.
It's just the ego.
The ego, number one. And number two is you haven't lived that experience. So how are you going to know?
True.
Right? So you're just speculating and talking about... It's like when people come up to me and they're like, oh, bro, you should... With your videos, you should do this, you should do that. And it's like, but you don't even make videos. So how are you going to know what to tell me what to do? Same thing with, you know, when people are like, you know, relationship coaches and marriage coaches. Oh, you married? No. It's like, oh, thanks, bro. I appreciate your input.
100%.
There's another question they asked about.
Of course, shoot.
What's funny?
Just go.
So I'm picking up the boy chats. They ask, what? Because you see how you said, for example, you don't own a house.
Yeah.
What about if your wife owned a house? Would you live in that house?
Definitely. I'd definitely live in my wife's house if she did own a house. Because at the end of the day, man, if we don't look after each other, who's going to look after us, right? You know, I've got you just like, and man, someone could have a house and then something happens to them and they're paraplegic. Who's going to look after the house, right?
Yeah.
Who's she going to count on? All right, cool, you've got the house, but you don't have your legs to go to work, right? And provide like the payments for it or whatever. So, you know, circumstances change. You know, there's been times where people have been so ahead of me in life. And I used to think, man, if only I could be like so close to them. And then there's been circumstances where I'm so ahead in life and people come up, they're like, oh man, I wish I could be in your position. Because you really never know when your circumstance could change. True. Something can happen, like just me walking out of here, something can happen and that could change everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So you really don't know how circumstances change. And that's in relationships as well, man, especially in marriages. You know, people just talk about me, I'm the man, I should do this, I should do that. Oh, hang on. Yes, it's good to be the man, but there are certain things that a man, you know, controversially can't do better. Or at least a woman can do it better than a man. And that's what I mean. You provide your support in different ways. she could be the breadwinner. But then again, you could do things around the house that could help her make that, why not support her in a sense? So if she's got the potential to make more than you, all right, cool, support her. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. It takes two to tango as well at the same time.
It takes two to tango, and it's a partnership at the end of the
Yeah.
day. Yeah, it's a marriage. That's why there's a binding paper at the end of the day, because
Yeah.
it is a partnership. And when you get married, everyone's just putting their chips on the table.
The first.
Yeah.
100%.
So
You guys love a lads chat, man.
no, definitely.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
anything, relationships, I'm always happy to talk about just because it gives a different type of perspective. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, people come up to me with relationship problems. Like, oh man, I'm speaking to this girl. She's this,
you
she's
get that at the
that,
gym a
she's
lot.
perfect, she's this, she's that. But she goes to Mint and Co on the weekends. And it's like,
Is that a red flag?
pardon?
Would you say that's a red flag?
I mean, everyone's different, right?
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like, all right, cool. And then maybe that's a conversation to have with her, right? So why are you having it with me?
Exactly.
But then again, you are not her father,
Yeah, true.
right? Because if her parents allow her to go,
Yeah.
or like go clubbing or do whatever,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a conversation you're gonna have with her. Moving forward, is this something you'd want to do? Because there are people that would give up something. Like for me, massive red flag for me is smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
I could not be with someone who smokes cigarettes
Yeah.
or someone who does anything cosmetic.
Yeah,
Okay,
true.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
those are two things non-negotiable
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
personally.
For sure.
Good non-negotiables, bro.
Yeah. Well, they're very basic non-negotiables, right? However, for some people, that could be their world,
But it
their
robs
biggest
you.
addiction. I think both of them would be their biggest addiction,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Especially in the world that we're living in, and they're non-negotiables for me. And some women might look at that and be like, "That's outrageous. How could you stop someone?"
Yeah.
However, the right person would probably happily give it up,
Yeah, true.
right?
Or not do it.
And not, or just stop doing it. Be like, oh, you know what? You're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
100%.
And that's okay. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to communication. If you don't communicate it to your partner, or your partner doesn't communicate it with you,
Exactly.
how are you going to know, or how are you going to solve that problem?
It's true, Allah.
Yeah? It goes back to the money. What's 5K in the long run?
Yeah.
What's when she has kids?
Exactly.
And then it goes from like 15K extra to minus 60K
Yeah.
or minus 70K.
Yeah.
And then what?
And it also goes back to negotiating as well. Like, you got to be picky with what you want, because at the end of the day, like, that's what you're going to get in the future. So you can't really complain later on. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
They tell you choose your problems. Yeah.
that's what I mean.
They
Be
tell
picky.
you pick what you can deal with, because like you said, even with the Melbourne weather stuff, you're never gonna get everything's gonna be perfect. Something's always gonna be lacking somewhere with everybody. But that's just us. That's just dunya. That's just natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick your poison.
But you pick your poison exactly. If you can't deal with a girl smoking cigarettes, why are you getting with a girl that smokes cigarettes then?
True.
That's it, man.
Well, if you
She said she'll stop.
yeah, huh?
She said she'll stop.
She said she'll switch to vapes. What was I going to say? No, like, yeah, there's a million people out there. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of people.
Yeah,
People just get so caught up with the one,
for sure, for sure.
got 10 fingers. If one finger gets chopped off, are you going to cry about, I can't use my hands? No, you're just going to use the other 9 fingers. Right?
Depends.
You know, and that, yeah, exactly, right? It really does depend.
Yeah, yeah.
It could be the one that got away.
Yeah.
Yeah. The little fishy that swam away whilst I was scuba diving. That's it, man. It's just, yeah, man, pick your poison. If there are things that you're sort of happy to settle on, and then sometimes it's just about perspective, right? You could marry someone or like move in with someone, and then when you move in with them, you provide them something more beneficial. My wife would rather go to the gym than sit at home and watch Netflix with me. When we first got married, it was just like Netflix and kick back at home. And then she realized, like, shit, like, okay, cool. If I got to lift heavier, I got to train more, I got to move more. And now she's replaced one thing with the other.
Exactly.
Washa.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
I love
I
that.
love.
I think we'll wrap it up there, unless you guys had some final questions.
These are things I talk off podcaster. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful. I'll thank you guys for listening. Do you have any final words, Teddy? Anything?
Nah, just thank you for having me. Honestly, it's always a pleasure to come in and chop it
Yeah.
up with you boys.
For
Now
sure.
that we
Well,
know
thanks
It's
for
always
coming
a
on.
laugh.
Now, the last time we had you on, you said you wanted to co-host more, and then obviously you started your own podcast. Now, because you're a bit more experienced in the podcast scene, we need you to come co-host.
Yeah.
Inshallah, man.
Episodes.
You've got my number, so you just let me know. I'm happy to come down, man.
Easy,
Inshallah.
bro.
Yeah, give
Well,
the-
there's a
give the
spot
boys a bit
vacated
of-
now that
bit of a
Ali's
break.
in thingy, so
Yeah,
sure. Let's do it.
yeah,
But-
inshallah.
But yeah, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you're watching this episode, this is something I got from your podcast. take a photo of it, record the thing, tag us on Instagram, let us know that you're watching it, and peace.